So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I get my super glowy skin look. I've been wanting to do this actually for a while. I did a poll on Instagram that if you guys wanted to see this glowy skin tutorial or bronze eyes look. Don't worry, for the people who voted for bronze eyes, you guys are gonna get the video. But yeah, so I just wanted to do this one first. Jump right in. The first thing I wanted to say, besides just putting on highlighter, like a shit ton of highlighters, the one thing that I've noticed personally myself, like literally I'll do the same exact routine, but it's honestly how you present yourself. But if you're confident within yourself, literally that radiates within, I guess, your whole face, and people will just see it and they're like, oh my god, wow, you're like glowing today. And like literally I did the same exact makeup look that I probably did yesterday. I just probably was feeling better and a happier state. So I feel like that is like step number one, is to be confident within yourself and like thinking that, okay, like, you know what, I'm gonna rock this shit, it's my day, I'm gonna glow. So that would be step number one, how you choose to believe yourself in yourself, and I feel like that just radiates on your whole face. I know like for some people, like they can't put on a lot of highlighter, or like if they do, they just look like a greased, like they look like a bucket of fried chicken, like they're so oily. But I'm just gonna show you what I do. So I've had to switch up like my foundation routine just a bit, just to accommodate, so it's not like super like dry and I just look like crusty. So one thing's for sure, like I'm usually like typically oily through here, but right now I'm like actually really dry around this area. But for people who are like a mixture combination dry oily skin, I have like two of my favorite primers that I like to use. So people who typically have like typically have oily skin, I would recommend the Pores No More primer. I feel like it's so good. It mattifies your skin, literally fills in pores, like blurs it out kind of. The only thing that it is drying, so I would recommend this more for somebody on the oily type. I've used it myself, but for me, I thought it was just a little bit too drying. I would use it more in the summer than I would do in the winter, because it's drying unless you have oily skin. But for those who are on the drier side but still want to like fill up their pores and they have like really visible pores, I would actually recommend this one. Is the NYX No Filter Blurring Primer. It's not as drying as the Dr. Brandt's Pores No Mores. It's like it does mattify and it does take care of the pores. It literally blurs it, like it covers it. It's really good. Especially, I honestly feel like this does such a great job. I actually personally myself reach for this more than I do the Pores No More. Either use those, but since like I said, I am on the drier side, I would actually just put this like around my nose, the nose area. Like push the product into my skin. I'm literally not putting it all over my face. That way you don't want to like cake on product. So I'm just going to give that a minute or two for it to set. I'm going to go in with a brightening primer. You could either use like a liquid highlighter, or this one is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. This is something that I'm probably just going to distribute in the high points of my cheeks. Whenever you're working with product, definitely work your fingers into it, warm up the product. It'll melt more into your skin, like I'm doing right now, like I'm melting in the product. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start applying it on the high points of my cheek and the areas that I know that the light will hit. So if you have like acne and stuff like that, I would recommend using like working in light layers. Sometimes if I have like a lot more acne though, I do use a full coverage foundation. And my favorite one, well actually I have two favorite ones too. One's a drugstore and the other one's like a higher end version. So my favorite drugstore is the Milani 2-in-1 Foundation Concealer. I think it's really great. The only thing that it does oxidize. For the higher end, my favorite one, like literally this is my go-to, it's the Becca Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream in the shade Buttercup. As I said, I'm a bit on the drier side. I'm probably going to mix these two because I just want to have like a full coverage but yet still kind of light glowy finish. That I'm just going to spot conceal the areas that I know are still peeking through, like my pimples and such. So my favorite concealers that I like to use are the FitMe by Maybelline.
Went by but felt like hours. Spring would lie in summer showers in my hair.
Now I'm just gonna do my highlighting and concealing.
My hair were winter flowers.
I'm gonna start using liquid highlighter. So my favorite liquid highlighter, I've experimented with a couple, but the one that I usually just end up going with is this Marc Jacobs Dewdrops Do You 05 Do You. It's actually, instead of like, you know, the D-O, it's actually D-E-W, like dewy, do you, haha. Show you how it looks like. So I don't take a lot because honestly with this one a little bit goes a long way and it dries pretty quick, but I like to do like just move it out. But get a smaller like buffing brush. You're gonna tap into it and just wipe off any excess. Just start working it in the areas where the light would hit. So like around this area. And just, I would use a sponge to directly deposit the product, but I personally myself did not like it because like I said, it does dry really quick, and I feel like the beauty blender would just make it sit it on top. I would use the beauty blender just to pick up, to continue blending. And when it comes to like a dewy look, I would not recommend using powders, like a powder contour. I would definitely use a cream contour, so it gives it that natural like finish and stuff like that. So like I said, last time I used 03 Cafe by the FitMe Maybelline.
And weeks went by but felt like hours.
Okay, so I'm actually just gonna fix my eyebrows and then I'm gonna be right back and show you guys what else I do in order to keep it very glowy. We're gonna do something that kind of like complements the skin with a shimmery eye. So I'm going to use the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator palette. It has the Gilded Honey and Ballerina highlighter. So you know how you can get the separate ones? Gilded Honey's here. These are my two favorite ones. Sometimes I use this as a blush, but today I'm going to use this as an eyeshadow. So I'm just going to grab my finger and just take it and just work it into my eye. I'm going to use the M441, and then I'm going to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I'm going to use, it's kind of like beat up, I'm going to use Buon Fresco. It's like a lilac color, and just smoke it out outwards. Okay, and this is the M433. It's like a very flat like blending brush. So then I'm gonna grab Antique Bronze. So you're just literally gonna dip your brush into it, tap out any excess. What you're gonna do, we're gonna like work it into like the outer crease, so it gives it like a smoky look, just a bit. It's like a daytime kind of like smoky look, enough for you to use it, like work it, like use it at your job. I even go like sometimes with dramatic looks at my job, so you know, trying to make the shmoneys. ColourPop Cosmetics Golden State of Mind Shadow Palette. The only thing that they do have, it has a lot of fallout, so if you're going to use it, just be careful because it has like a lot of fallout with this.
This has only
just going to go in with a bronzer. I used a butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. It is a very smooth and buttery bronzer.
begun.
Work the bronzer into your neck. I don't have much blush like that are creams. Like I said, I like to use the Milani baked blushes, but I'm actually going to be using lipstick, like lipsticks, and just work it into my skin. I'm going to mix the NYX Abu Dhabi one, since it is a very natural color, neutral tone color, with the NYX Gel Plush lipstick in the shade Nude Beach. Isn't there nude beaches in like Europe and stuff? So I'm just gonna put it onto my fingers. Just work the two on my fingers, the back of my hand, and just mix the two, and just use it as a blush.
In the end,
So you're probably thinking, for the people who are very oily, like, where does the powder come in? So I actually don't like to use a lot of powder when I'm going for like a very dewy skin look. I honestly just put it in the areas that I do need it. Sometimes I don't even put it under my eyes, so it doesn't so it keeps that natural look. And I just feel like it just leaves such a natural finish and you don't have like that powdery texture. But if you do need it, the two top powders that I really like using is, so far I just got this, but I think it's so good, the RCMA No Color Powder. If you want to use this to bake, I'm probably going to just use this to clean up my contour a bit so it seems more prominent, but I don't like literally like put it on like a whole beard. And then if I want to use a Fenty Beauty powder, universal powder, it's really good for my under eyes. Just do it right there, nothing much. Probably would just add a little bit in the inner corners. Don't put it into the areas that you already applied highlight. So I'm just gonna do like the under part of my eyeshadow. I'm just gonna go in with Antique Bronze and then just blend it out with the Buen Fresco. After that, I'm just going to add my setting spray, and then we're gonna work on our lashes. And final step, highlight. So I actually gathered my favorite highlighters that I like to use when it comes to like days like this where I'm trying to be like super glowy and stuff. So the first one is the Dose of Colors Fuego Desi Perkins times Luster Looks or Katie, the highlighter that they collabed and did for Dose of Colors. That's one of my favorite ones. Or the Jaclyn Hill one, the Champagne Pop. Clearly it broke, but I still have a good amount left. And then the one that I just got, the Amrezy one, I've been using this one like all the time. I love it. It's such a beautiful skin finish. So that's the one that I'm going to be using today. Dip in my brush, nothing special. Tap out any excess and just work it into my skin. Then I'm going to grab my beauty blender and just roll out and just work it into my skin so it doesn't look like caked on top. And then I'm just going to take some highlighter, let's put it in the inner corners. So I'm just going to go in with some lipstick. I'm just going to use like a natural nude. So I'm going to use the NYX Plush in Breakup and Bare Minerals Hemp. It's a matte color. I'm going to grab this. I don't like fully put it on. I like tap it into my lips. And just grab a little bit of this and just put it in the middle of my lips. Top it off with some gloss. I'm going to use a Dose of Colors over the top. A bitch so glossy. My glowy look. Let me just model for you guys really quick. See, like literally, like I'm glowing, like legit. I am like that light bulb that people go over like their heads when they have an idea. That's me. All right, see you next time, guys.